my horror-loving dudes, I'm Killjoy Jake, and today we're talking a little bit about Scream 7, some filming rumors, and some casting rumors. How many characters should return from Scream 6 moving into Scream 7? Well, let's get into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Rumors are currently flying all over the internet about Scream 7. People want an update, but unfortunately there are so many outside forces that are really weighing down upon this upcoming sequel. No, we may not have gotten the announcement that Scream 7 is actually on the way, but with Scream 5 and Scream 6's huge successes at the box office, it is very, very, very likely that Scream 7 happens. Going through some of these rumors, KDM, a third-party source on Twitter, recently said that maybe Scream 7 will start filming in early 2024. Once again, take this with a grain of salt, it may or may not be true. That would make a lot more sense than the original rumor, which was that the movie was going to start filming this fall, and with the writer's strike and SAG-AFTRA now joining the fight against big studios giving low wages to writers and replacing them with AI, go WGA, let's get this done. I just don't think the movie is going to start filming this year. I of course want them to, and I'm sure most of you probably do too, but there are just more important things to be handled right now. That's a rumor I can actually latch onto that makes some sense. I could see them starting to film this in early 2024, depending on what the script calls for. A winter setting, a tropical setting, well, we'll just have to see. Rumor also has it that that script is done somewhere and was completed before the writer's strike, but, you know, who knows? One of the more interesting rumors going around regarding casting is that Courtney Cox will not return for Scream 7, and Neve Campbell is in negotiations to come back from her last performance in Scream 2022. She, of course, was absent from Scream 6 because they didn't like the amount of money they were going to give her. I think that's totally fair. She's been the star of the majority of these movies. Of course, she's gonna want a bigger contract. Hopefully they're able to figure something out with Neve Campbell. I'd love to see her back in Scream 7. Speaking of Neve Campbell, her new series Twisted Metal premieres on Peacock on July 27th later on this month, so make sure to check that out. But regarding some of these side characters, because of course the core 4 is going to be coming back for Scream 7, Screams 5 and Scream 6 heavily focused on them as characters. With the rest of the side characters though, how many people should come back for Scream 7? Well, this is a conversation that may be hard, but we have to have if Scream 7 is going to be worth watching. While I love Scream 6, it absolutely does have some issues that would have been solved if they would have just cut down the character list a little more and added some more new people into the fold. That's where a lot of the issues of the film lie, in my opinion. The mystery just is very weak because you have so many characters who are returning who could never go Ghostface. And in the third act of Scream 6, they try to make you think one of those characters is Ghostface, Kirby, and I just don't really buy that. I just don't know if Kirby could ever be our Ghostface killer, especially not with the introduction she had in Scream 6. She's an FBI agent who's going after Ghostface killers. That would have been a crazy reveal in 6 and taken it down a totally different direction than what was already being set up. We had already learned in Scream 6 that somehow this killer is pissed about Richie's death from the previous film, so I just didn't see how it could possibly be Kirby. I just never bought that for one moment. Now, although I pitched some of my ideas for how they could make a returning character the killer in the next film, Sam being my absolute #1 choice, I just don't think that's actually what they're going to do, unfortunately, even though that would be pretty damn awesome. Now, assuming that Scream 6 has the same format and structure of the previous 6 films, where it's a murder mystery, you get an opening kill, you get exposition meeting all the characters, kills happen, they start deducing who it could be from the mystery, and then bam, killer reveal, killers die. If they follow that format, there's something really important they need to do for Scream 7, and that's knock off some of the returning characters. The core 4 is definitely going to come back without a doubt in my mind. It would just be kind of weird if they didn't at this point, so we'll have 4 characters who are safe, including maybe Sidney Prescott. That's where I think they should cut it off. I absolutely love Gale Weathers. I have gone on record before to say that she's my favorite Scream character, but I just didn't love what they did with her character in Scream 6, and honestly, I think that movie would have been better without her. The only role she really played in that film was to get our characters to the Ghostface shrine, and I feel like we could have just done that with Kirby. I mean, sure, we did get an excellent chase scene with Gale Weathers in that film, plus an almost death, but at the same time, could they have just done that with another character? Probably. To me, having both Gale and Kirby fill the investigator role is kind of like if we had 2 Gale Weathers in Scream 2. I just don't think it would work or it would be necessary. It would just be so much better if they focused on the strengths of a singular character. So if Gale doesn't want to come back, I'm kind of fine with that. Kirby is kind of filling her shoes at the moment, and there's much more character development we can do with her. The writers showed us in Scream 6 that they don't really know what to do with Courtney Cox's character anymore. She's already kind of had a completed arc. arc that ended in 5, in my opinion. I also don't love that Gale Weathers just reverted back to herself from like Scream 2 in this new film. I would have been totally fine with that being the end of Gale's arc if she just writes a book about Dewey and rides off into the sunset. That could have been cool, but now we did this and I'm not crazy about it. There's more story to tell with Kirby, who is a completely reinvented character now. I would rather them just focus on her if she's going to return. So we have the core 4, Sidney Prescott, Kirby Reed, and possibly even Danny Brackett returning for Scream 7. That's 7 characters who are safe and will not be the Ghostface killer. And honestly, if they make any of them Ghostface, it's going to be a bit of a stretch in my opinion. If Danny's the Ghostface in the next movie, you're just doing the love interest thing again. Fans are going to hate that. You simply can't tell a good murder mystery when you have several characters who are not going to be the killer and are totally safe. So unless they completely flip the structure and format of these films on its head, which I just don't have a whole lot of confidence that they'll actually do that, I just don't see how they can tell a compelling murder mystery with this many safe characters. I just don't think they should compromise some of the greatest factors of this franchise just to bring back more beloved characters from the past. It's just not worth it in my opinion. I really love all these characters, but I'm almost at the point where I don't even want some of the core 4 members to come back because the mystery is just simply not going to work. And I love those characters. They are great requel characters, some of my favorite from any of the horror requels out there. Now, with all of that being said, I think that there's a way that Scream 7 can have its cake and eat it too. Bring back all of these characters and they're all part of the mystery, but we just have to do things very, very differently this time around. We're gonna have to have a killer with a completely different motive than anything we've seen in the past. No family connections, no stab movies. The other thing too is we're gonna have some emotional deaths. Some of these characters are going to have to die if this mystery is going to work or if it's going to have any stakes. Frankly, I don't want another Scream 6 ending where all of our characters walk off into the sunset and miraculously survive. I'll give the mulligan to Scream 6 because it does so many other really cool things that I love and appreciate, but moving forward, let's try something a little more tragic maybe. This is a horror movie after all, it's gotta be a little bleak. My suggestion for a motive that would work for a killer character that's going after not only the legacy characters but the new characters is have someone who just wants to finish and clean up the mess of some of the other ghost faces from the past. Maybe it's one of Richie's disciples. Like think the characters at the beginning of Scream 6 who are just doing this to finish Richie's movie. We gotta have some emotional deaths too. Some of these characters have gotta die so none of the other sequels have to deal with this same problem. If we just keep building this gigantic family, we're gonna turn into Fast and Furious. Scream can go on forever as long as they keep making smart and fun movies. And if they just rest on their laurels and make another cheeseball sequel, that's the only future I can really see for this franchise moving forward. Please don't make the Slashed and the Furious. I don't want to see that. What this all comes down to is Scream 7's killer has to be very inventive and something completely different from the past and can make this story work. Otherwise, it's going to totally suck. While I appreciate the Scream 6 killers for not being exactly like Mrs. Loomis, just taking that motive and kind of building upon it, I still think the mystery shrouded around them is kind of butts. Big ol' nasty cheeks. So if Scream 7 is going to be successful, they gotta give us a good, new, original kind of killer, and they gotta kill off some of these characters. While the mystery of the film and the motive of the killers wasn't really anything too new, I really appreciated a lot of the new ideas that came with Scream 6. There was a lot of step forwards in this movie, even if there was some steps back. So for Scream 7, let's focus on some more step forwards. Try some new things, break new ground. Don't just do the same movie again as Scream 3. If this is in Hollywood and it's a director killer who's a secret brother or mother to Sam Carpenter, I'm gonna absolutely lose my mind. My head is going to explode, there will be brains all over this room that someone's gonna have to clean up, and that won't really be fun. What do you all think about Scream 7 though? Do you want to see more characters from the past return, or are you kind of just like, I don't know about that? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this brand new Scream 7 theory video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting this channel on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.